Gotta love it, huh? Got to love it. So here we are. Thank you guys for joining. And again, I'm Rhonda, the Wellness Partner. If you are new, welcome. It is not usually this difficult for me, but again, like I said, with the retrograde. And if you're returning, welcome back home. Today, I'm going to be sharing some specific information with you about the heart, about the ways to heal the heart naturally. If you are new, I want to just tell you who it is that I am as your wellness partner. I'm a physician educator and facilitator. In the picture to the right, you actually see me hosting a heart dissection. That is a heart and lung combination there on the table. And I am going through the anatomy with those physicians there. In addition to that, I offer public education through workshops and seminars. And I host an amazing course called Goddess in Training, which is a knowledge of self course that helps individuals to find their purpose and operate in it. I also offer holistic health coaching or spiritual health coaching, where I provide specific custom wellness plans for you. And sometimes that includes doctor visits and things like that. If you're dealing with a health issue, if you're dealing with a spiritual or an emotional issue, things are a little different, but still it's a custom plan for you. And our emotional release sessions are amazing as well. Today, we're going to talk about managing heart disease naturally, whether it is that you're actually having issues with heart disease, or if you're dealing with grief or some other form of sadness and emotional upset. You know, coming through 2020 has been a roller coaster ride for all of us. And so, right now, as a collective, we're at a lull. And that energetic lull is a great space for us to reinvent ourselves, to find ourselves. But it's also a space where depression and anxiety can take over. So finding a balance is important during this time. And so that's what I'm here for, and to share these tips with you today so that hopefully you're able to find some form of balance. Today, we're going to talk about fourfold health, how the body heals. I'll talk to you a little bit about the metaphysics of disease. What is disease? How's it treated? And then the difference between supporting it and treating it. First, with fourfold health, just real basic. This is a concept that I operate in with all of my clients and all of my classes. The fact that the human being is a house for the spirit and soul. House or a vehicle. And if the body is a vehicle, that means that your mind is the communication device between who you really are, your soul or spirit or true self, and the world around you. So your mind helps you to understand what goes on between the two. It's the communication, almost like the GPS, to help you navigate this world. Our emotions are our gauges, so they actually help us to understand what's going on, to be able to make those decisions based on what's going on. Like, you know, a gauge in a car. Do I have enough gas to get where I'm going? How fast am I going? Do I need to slow down? You know, so those are the same thing that the emotions give us. They let us know where we are and what we need to do. And of course, then there's your true self, your spirit, the soul within the body. And it's important to know that you're not the body itself. It is a mechanism, it is a vehicle, it is a machine that has a specific program already downloaded and operates within its program without us doing anything. So this course, this webinar is going to share with you how you can operate within that pre-programmed system. How do we know it's a pre-programmed system? Because it heals all by itself. There's nothing that I need to do. It has an inherent natural ability to heal itself. And it does that through cell replication, and replacement. So if I cut myself, it'll heal. Those cells will make sure of it. So what's a cell? They're the itty bitty fundamental units of life, and everything in your body is made up of cells, your tissues and organs. If you keep going down to the smallest form, you get down to the cell. So essentially everything that we are is just a bunch of cells. So how does the body heal? Those cells have to replicate and copy themselves. It's like a copy machine. And different parts of the body replicate or copy themselves at different times. Just like if you cut yourself and scrape your hand, let's say a kid falls down and scrapes their hand, that scrape is going to bleed, it's going to scab over, and it's going to heal. Why? Because the DNA knows what to do. The cells know what to do. Those skin cells know what to do. And how much nutrition we actually take in has everything to do with how that process happens. It's important that we keep our DNA safe so that the cell replication is good replication, because if not, then we have what's called mutation. And if a cell mutates, then it becomes a tumor. Tumor cells are cancer. And so it's important that we have the right nutrients. So as our bodies are always replicating every night when we go to sleep, that happens. Making sure that there are good information, good cell replication happening is 100% to do with your nutrition. So what can stop us from having good cell replication? External forces called free radicals, whether those are from ultraviolet rays, pollution, or just stress like 2020 can stop our cells from replicating correctly. A poor diet can also make that happen. But if you have cells that are fortified by antioxidants, and if you're fortified by strong nutrients that you're taking in, your immune system is strong, then you can find that your cells will be like on this right side of this diagram, nice, strong, and healthy, and then this stuff can't penetrate. But today we're talking about the heart. And so I have a quick little video to share with you guys just to talk about how the heart works. It's the size of your fist. And so that's how big my heart is. I can put it over my chest, and it sits about right there in the chest. And this video should show a little more about that. And let's see. Come on.
Chambers, the top receiving chambers or atrium. The cell will come from either the superior vena cava or the inferior vena cava. Cell into a vesicle.
Okay. So that was just how the heart works. It is a complex structure that actually works with us. Sorry, guys, let me get back here. It's a complex structure that actually works with us to help pump the blood throughout the body. There are linings of the heart called the pericardium, the myocardium, and all of this is just the normal way that the heart works. Blood flows in from the lungs, out to the body, comes back from the body, back out to the lungs for more oxygen. And that's what the flow of blood does. And that's how your cells all get new oxygenated blood and new nutrients to feed all of those cells. This is a view of the heart from the top that shows the valves, because the heart is a pressure chamber where valves open and close. And then there's circulation to the body. There's also circulation to itself. In addition to blood, the heart is also an electric pacemaker. Yes, it has the ability to create its own electrical current, and it does it over and over again. And actually, each heartbeat is an electrical current coming down from the top, and from the top to the bottom, unless there is an issue. Arteries take blood from the heart that is freshly oxygenated from the lungs and take it to all the cells, and then it returns the blood back to the heart so that it can go back out to the lungs through the veins. This is the vein and arterial system, if you will. The blue side's the venous blood that needs oxygen. The red side has oxygen. And as you see, the exchange from the heart out to the body and back to the heart. This is what you'd see on a EKG if you're at the hospital connected to a bunch of wires, because this is the electrical component of the heart. So those two things, it's both a pump and it's an electric pacemaker. So those two things married together are how each heartbeat is created. But I want to talk about love in the heart, because that's all the mechanical. It's this strange and wonderful thing that pumps blood, knows how much blood that everything needs, knows when it needs it, pumps on its own, has its own automated program as to how to pump. It knows when we're happy, it knows when we're sad. How is love and emotions connected to this awesome mechanical and electrical device? Well, it's based on some rather simple yet complex concepts. Chakras, the endocrine system. What is disease, and how does this magnificent structure then become tainted in different ways? Well, I have to refer back to the Metaphysics of Disease by Louise Hay and Lizzie Bourbeau, where they both tell a story that our body, not just our heart, our bodies are always speaking to us. And these so-called diseases are really just clues or a communication between the body and you. And it's just we don't speak the language. We're not taught the language of the body. And so we don't even understand what's going on. So we go to a doctor, and the doctor gives us medicine for that communication that's happening from our bodies. And the medicine just stops the communication. It just stops the symptoms. But it's important that we get to the root cause of what our bodies are trying to say to us, not just mask it with a Band-Aid called medicine. If you are worrying a lot and have high anxiety, you may also suffer from stomach ulcers, because that worry, whatever is eating away at you emotionally, begins to eat away at you physically. And then if you have high blood pressure, you're usually facing a lot of stress. So if we think about how is the heart connected to love, it's because that metaphysical connection, which is what that emotion is, that metaphysical connection is there, and there's something going on that we need to address. I'm going to talk about how high blood pressure as it is physically, and then we'll talk about where it comes from. So here's another quick video. So in that video, it just quickly explained how, blood pressure works and how sometimes we don't even know what's going on. But again, it can come from stress, heavy salt, fatty diet, or just hardening and tightening um, of the arteries. I have a couple of more videos, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to talk about the stages of hypertension because, of course, when it's normal, it's your systolic blood pressure is below 120 millimeters of mercury, and the diastolic, the bottom number, is below 80 millimeters of mercury. When it gets above that, then we start to worry. Pre-hypertension is when you're in that 120 to 139 range, over 80 to 89 millimeters of mercury range. So as you can see, as the numbers get a little higher, that's called pre-hypertension. Then when you get to stage 1 hypertension, that systolic pressure is 140 over 159, and the diastolic is getting close to 100. Stage 2, it's greater than 160 over 100. And when you're in a crisis, it's greater than 180 over 110. So it's important that you pay attention to what your blood pressure is saying and what it is. But it's even more important that you know that doctors will prescribe or treat it, even hypertension, with medication. They'll tell you to lower your salt intake. They'll tell you to stop smoking and drinking. They'll tell you to reduce stress, all of those things. However, they'll give medications to stop the to stop these symptoms that you're having of high blood pressure. They'll prescribe beta blockers or ACE inhibitors or diuretics or even calcium channel blockers. I have a video down here that kind of shows what happens when you are prescribed these medications. I wish my videos were faster. I wish they could just start as soon as I click them, but give us just a couple minutes. So that video just talked a little bit about the symptoms or side effects of the medication. And with that being said, it's tough to actually take some of these medications because then they lead up to needing even more medications, as it's almost a domino effect as how the body responds to them. I wanted to look at high cholesterol, and I'm looking at this, and it's like, you guys may not even be able to see it. Let's see my share. I think I'm just going to share my screen instead. Yeah, so there's two different types of high cholesterol. It's your HDL which is your good cholesterol, and then there's the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol. The HDL helps you dispose of cholesterol. It actually works to clean the body of that, and LDL is actually contributes to heart disease. So the docs want to look at your cholesterol levels to see which is which. And let's play this video here. Just to talk about what is cholesterol. Let's see if we can make this full size. So HDL prevents. So yeah, that's the video on cholesterol. And what happens if that isn't taken care of and you do have high cholesterol? You can actually end up having what's called a myocardial infarction or a heart attack. So how do we treat this high cholesterol allopathically if you've had a heart attack or if you have heart disease and the doc says you have high cholesterol? We're going to make sure that you don't have a heart attack. You can change your diet. You can lower your fat intake, stop drinking and smoking, reduce stress. They also give you statins. I'm not going to play that video on that. They also can find that if you do have that buildup of cholesterol on your arteries called arteriosclerosis, they can put a stent in there to open it up so that you don't have a heart attack. Or if you are missed a heart attack, they can open it up so that that the heart attack is stopped. There are many disorders of the heart system. The heart shows up in different ways, but again, going back to Lizzie Bourbeau and the understanding of the metaphysical aspects of the heart, The doctors are going to treat your symptoms. A naturopathic practitioner is going to work with you to reverse the conditions that actually led up to where you are. And we're going to find that root cause and shift there. A lot of my work with the heart starts with the emotions, because if you are stressed, you're going to feel it in your heart, high blood pressure. You're going to feel it in your brain, headaches, and migraines and stuff like that. In this slide, it's just to show you how emotions can hurt you. Worry is going to show up in your stomach. Grief is going to show up in your lungs. Fear is going to show up in your kidneys, anger in your liver, and stress in your heart and brain. And those organs are where you're going to see disease. And so as I work with a client, I am definitely trying to help them to release anger, to release the grief, to release the worry, to release the stress, to release the fear. And a couple of those oils are, especially for the heart, we're really looking at stress. So Valor and Orange, which are in Stress Away. Any of the citrus fruits can help the heart. Definitely. The heart chakra also affects the lungs. So Valor and Bergamot can also help if you're having lung issues. But heart, brain, and lung are all heart chakra issues. And it's all about love. So when I had when I had a patient on the table and I'm working with the doc and we're working with their heart, in the back of my mind, I knew that they have an emotional blockage there. And even though we're doing all of this allopathic work to them, whether it be surgery or stenting or whatever it is we're doing, I know that the root cause is really one of these things: anger, grief, worry, stress, or fear that they're dealing with, and how it's showing up in their bodies is independent to them. So what I offer is a wellness plan to help someone with a roadmap back to health. It includes health assessments. We discover the root cause of what's going on, and we dive deep to actually find out, why is your heart blocked? What blocked your heart chakra? What caused you to put a wall up around your heart? Who did this to you? What happened? And when we find out what happened, we can begin to reverse the story. I offer herbal teas and essential oils, weekly conference calls with my clients. I offer spiritual support. In fact, there's a complete spiritual program that goes along with my wellness plan. There's a Facebook group support. And of course, there's those bi-weekly one-on-one sessions that I have with my clients. And they have all that. And if they need a doctor's accompanied visit for me to go in and speak with the doctor on the doctor's playing field, I can do that too. And of course, that's additional a la carte pricing, but all of that is available. Home visits, as well as a healthy shopping trip, if that's what's contracted. So I help my clients in all of that. So how do we talk about treatment versus support? How does a doctor support you versus how a naturopath like myself would help? Well, the doctors are going to treat your symptoms with medications. So if you look at this lovely picture here in the corner, I have an individual who has a whole hook in his hand, a whole hook. Can you imagine the pain of that thing? Oh my God. So if I use this as a metaphor, if I have high blood pressure and that hook is high blood pressure, what the doctor does with the medications is they just grab a big white bandage around and they never take the hook out. Leave the hook in. So what happens if I leave that hook in? I just put a bandage around it. It gets infected. It gets ugly. It gets worse. It doesn't go away just because I give you some Tylenol. So same thing with high blood pressure and some of these other diseases, because we're not getting to the root cause. This stuff comes back. Cancer comes back. High blood pressure never goes away. I'm taking medications for my whole life. Yeah, we don't need that. When working with a naturopath like myself, you can reverse those conditions by nurturing and supporting the body systems that are involved and addressing the other areas that are of concern. We'll work with your dietary guidelines, talk about good fats and bad fats. We'll talk about herbal support when we're working together. This is just a few of the ways, the many different herbal supports for the heart and the heart chakra. But I really want to talk about the essential oil support, because why? That is the mainstay for me. The mainstay. And so Aroma Life is actually across the room. I did not bring it over here to show you guys, but it is an essential oil that actually improves the cardiovascular and the lymphatic and the circulatory systems, because both of those kind of play together. The lymph system is a huge part of our immune system, and it takes the impurities from the blood that the blood cleanses, and it takes them out of the system through the urine. But it's a passive system and it doesn't move. So you have to get your body moving to get that lymphatic system to move. But the Aroma Life essential oil helps to improve both your cardiovascular and your lymphatic circulation. So it's great. It lowers the blood pressure, it reduces stress, heals hemorrhoids even. And it has great oils, blend of helichrysum, ylang ylang, marjoram, cypress, and even sesame seed oils. So how do we use it? You just inhale it. You can put it on your hands and inhale it. You can apply topically over the heart chakra itself, or you can diffuse into the air. It works wonders. Lemongrass is also excellent if you have high cholesterol. It works just like that Lemon Joy, or I don't remember what company it was, but it was the dish detergent that you drop into the water. The water would be all full of grease, and you drop that Lemon Joy in there and it would just spread out. So that's what lemongrass does to high cholesterol. And then there's Joy, our happy, joyous heart chakra healing oil. It's great. It has rose in it, which is one of the strongest, highest frequency oils that we have. It relieves frustration, anxiety. It just helps to soothe that heart chakra right down. It helps you to escape the emotional roller coaster. It brings joy to your heart, your mind, your body, and soul. And so these oils really help to bring balance to the body physically. So all of that stuff we just talked about, that the doctors give you medications for, these oils can help bring that balance, mind, body, and spirit. Not just from the body's perspective, but all aspects of you can come into balance with these oils. And I stand on them because I've melted my emotions away, and I've watched over and over and over my clients shift in just a matter of seconds as they experience these oils. So next is you got to support the body with the right vitamins and minerals. Remember, the body is always redefining, restructuring, and rebuilding itself cell by cell every single night. So you got to have the right vitamins and minerals so that the cells can reproduce correctly. Because if they can't reproduce correctly, they mutate. And what mutation is cancer. So some of the mineral supports you really need is vitamin C, magnesium, calcium, copper, and zinc. And these can be found in my supplements, Mega Cal, and also Ningxia Red, which is a huge high antioxidant drink that will help to clean the cells off as well. And Ningxia, it helps with premature aging, it helps increase your strength and energy, helps you sleep better, helps you manage your weight, stabilizes blood pressure, maintain healthy cholesterol, healthy blood pressure. It just helps with everything. And it's the equivalent of eating 100 oranges, 814 blueberries, 22 carrots, 10 pounds of spinach, 59 pieces of broccoli, 73 strawberries, 93 apples. Come on, who would be able to take all that in one setting? And it's all in one shot, which is just an ounce of Ningxia Red. And it's amazing. All the vitamin support that I've been talking about, there's ImmunoPro, it's Super B, Super C, Omega Giants, and Inner Defense. If you have any interest in any of these supplements, please reach out to me afterwards, because I definitely can share these with you and help you to get your own. Even if you're having issues with the reproductive system, we have a master formula for men and for women for fertility and for stamina, as well as oils that help with that as well. If you are experiencing grief and or heart disease, you definitely can reduce your stress by getting into some meditation, some yoga exercises, and some emotional freedom techniques, all of which I'll support you through if you decide to work with my program. Just checking in to see if there's any questions, either in the live chat or on Facebook at this time. Doesn't look like there are. And so if you want to contact me, here is my contact information. You see here, you may call, email, or catch me online. And thank you so much for joining. It is my pleasure to have you guys here on the show today. And if there are any questions about loving yourself more and or experiencing a space where you can heal from some of the things you may be going through, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. BeForeverWell.com with the number 4, BE, the number 4, everwell.com. You guys have a fantastic Saturday. Thank you for joining. This was awesome. And